Well, my MMA, Muay Thai and combat sports enthusiasts out there, it is finally time for another shin guard review, and one that is great, not without some small faults. And those shin guards are none other than the Gold Strike shin guards from Sanabul. Now, I received my pair in size large in the white and gold sleek as colorway. I'll leave my leg measurements down below so that way you can compare apples for apples to make sure you choose the right pair if you want some. And let me just start off by saying how incredibly lightweight these shin guards are, particularly for their size and profile. And while shin guards aren't typically measured by their weight by any means, it is quite surprising how lightweight they are for their size, which you can see is definitely a lot puffier and a lot bigger, especially in comparison to other typical MMA or Muay Thai shin guards available. And there's some noticeable tweaks on these shin guards as well. You have slightly higher outer knee protection, which I really like. Also mounds or extra mounds over the shin and the foot, which actually make quite a noticeable difference during sparring. And while these features aren't directly unique to Sanabul, I always appreciate a little bit more when it comes to what you get. Having additional mounds of padding over the shin and over the foot is great, and little tweaks like this just help in lowering that risk of injury for sparring. And what I also appreciate is how they look unique to Sanabul. The mounds don't reflect any other brand out there. Yes, the outer knee protection is normal, but altogether you've got a product that really looks unique. And when it comes to the visuals, again, I think they look fantastic. They look really sleek in the white gold or the black gold, depending on which colorway you choose from. But don't forget that white and gold will show wear and tear more easily in comparison. As I said in my Gold Strike boxing glove review, I definitely get sci-fi vibes out of these, even something that maybe a stormtrooper would wear. So all in all, a pretty cool look. And the outer casings of the Gold Strike shin guards is the same synthetic leather they use on the gloves, much more of a durable synthetic leather compared to others, a little bit more rugged, not as soft and as sleek or as slippery, but definitely rugged and durable. And I'll go as far as saying that if you look after these properly, I have more than enough confidence that this material will outlast a lot of genuine leathers out there. Whereas compared to the inside of every single shin guard you'll ever find, the durability is just simply not going to be the same. While these shin guards have a really nice soft microfiber or polyester inner lining, unfortunately because it's exposed directly to your leg, over a quicker period of time, moisture and sweat are just going to degrade these shin guards faster. And again, that is not an issue directly to Sanabul. Every other shin guard will go through this same problem. You see, the current way shin guards are made, I just don't see them lasting any more than maybe 2 years if they're looked after properly. Unlike boxing gloves, you can wear hand wraps underneath your gloves. Other than maybe compression leggings, that could be the only thing that adds another layer of protection here. But unfortunately, you just have to accept the fact that shin guards are going to be chewed through a little bit faster. And on top of this, all the elasticized areas of a shin guard, usually behind the ankle or underneath the foot, are the first thing to go due to wear and tear too. So even if the shin guard itself lasts, rest assured that these elasticized sections will start to stretch or break down even faster again. And while Sanabul have definitely outdone themselves by putting some additional leather and a little bit more stitching and really quite thick elasticized materials on the bottom of the foot, it's still going to be the first area to go. Now, when it comes to quality, for the most part, Sanabul's Gold Strike shin guards are definitely some of the best I've ever found. As you can see, pretty much every area of the shin guard fits and wraps perfectly around my leg and foot. From the length of the shin guard being perfect, just sitting underneath my kneecap, to the width of the shin guard covering all the essential areas from my shin to the inside and the outside of my calves, all the way to the pullback straps, which are just the perfect length. And even better still, the foot guard feels really plush, yet still quite flexible. Sanabul to me have done a great job of ticking all the boxes for a really comfortable ergonomic fit. And if you don't get any of those things right, as I said before, that can really ruin your shin guard experience. The padding on these shin guards is definitely more of a soft to medium feel. The outside and the inside is more on the softer side, but as I compress, it definitely firms up quite quickly. And while I do usually like the outside of the casing to be a little bit firmer, I will say the combination of padding that Sanabul has used is great. The shock absorption that I felt on my legs is very minimal when I'm kicking or when I'm checking. And I can honestly say over the last several months of use, these are definitely my favorite go-to shin guards for Muay Thai sparring. For the most part, this shin guard ticks pretty much every box, from the fit, from the padding, to the comfort, to the shock absorption, to the quality. Everything here ticks all the boxes except for one little issue. You see, if you take a closer look at these loops here, which help tie in the pullback straps, you can see a little bit of red. No, it is not blood, it is actually rust. Now, many brands utilize metal O-rings underneath the leather, which is great and it's strong. However, if that quality of metal underneath isn't great, it can start to corrode. And that is a huge shame, because that will be the main reason that I'll need to retire these shin guards earlier than what I would have liked, because that corrosion could potentially break the metal O-ring. It's stripping into the leather, which is also not helping, and it's also staining my products and other people's, which isn't a great look. And while I know Sanabul would never intend for this to happen, making the switch to either a really hard plastic or a stainless steel is a quick and easy fix. And I also just want to say again, it took at least 6 months for this to even start appearing. And I can confidently say that the value is really there. For 150 Aussie dollars, this is an absolute bargain. Yes, there's that small rust issue, but every other part of this shin guard is simply fantastic. You'll be hard pressed to find good quality shin guards or even boxing gloves under 200 bucks these days, so that is a huge plus. But who the heck should buy these shin guards? And basically everyone. There's not anyone I can really think of that wouldn't benefit from a good shin guard like this, unless you're maybe doing MMA sparring where you need something a bit slimmer, particularly if you're trying to sprawl or shoot for takedowns. These are quite bulky in comparison, but for protection wise, I just think these are very hard to beat. So that's it for this review, legends. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment or a question down below regarding this product or anything else that I can help with. If you're bored and not doing much, make sure you check out another one of my videos. Thanks always for watching, legends, and see you guys real soon.